The projects page of Custom Cabinet Planner is where all of your projects live. It is a database like the contacts, like the companies, and has quite a few views here, but they're very redundant in some sense. It's just looking at the data in different areas. So active is all the projects that are either won or pending. And then if you wanted to look at those separately, you could have the active won, which would pare down the list to only projects that have won, not projects that were just pending, and then just the projects that are pending. The distinction between pending and won is we're working with a client, and once we receive a deposit or a signed contract, we would say, okay, now this is a won project. And then archived are all of your projects that are completed, and then all would include all the active and the archived. And then there's a form for a new project. Obviously, this is not for your clients to use. This would be for you to use internally. This would be for a team member to add a project and just make sure they didn't miss anything. It's not necessarily something you have to use, but you could use it if you wanted to. And then this project status form is intended to be provided to your client on a monthly basis, kind of early on, and then on a weekly basis to make sure that their project is moving along and going to be ready for you when you're ready to install the cabinetry. So I'm going to jump back here to the active all. I'm going to talk about a couple other things that I haven't in some of the other shorter videos because the projects page is a very much used page. But I do want to say in version 7, these videos are being made for version 7, that this page should be thought of as a page I would use if I was sitting with a client. But if I'm actually working in my office on a project, I wouldn't come to the projects page, I would go to the processes page, and we'll talk more about that in the instructions for the processes. But we've added this navigation bar at the top. It does exactly what you would anticipate it doing. If you click on the home button, it'll take you home. When you float over a button, you will see this gear icon, so I think this is an appropriate place to show you this. So when you click on that gear icon, you're actually opening up the button's controls. The only thing you might want to change, obviously if you're clicking on home, you want to go home, and that's what it's going to do. When you click on this button, it's going to take you home. But you have a choice of what you want to see. So if I go to the home page, I do want that to be a full page, just like this is a full page. But if I go to the gear for the company's page and I'm on the projects page, I probably do want that to be a side peek. I just might want to peek at something and then jump right back out of it, and I can just click out of it and be right back on this projects page rather than having to back up or use the navigation. So that's something you might want to know. You could change that for some of these. Some of these are side peeks, some of them are full pages, and some of them are center peeks. And then I think it's self-evident, but I probably need to mention it, that all the pages in version 7 that need an instructions button now have an instructions button. And when you click on it, a window pops up, and these videos will live in these fields. So when I complete this video, I will embed that video here. And then when you get done reading the instructions or watching the video, you would just click on back to projects to take you back to your page. And then I think this is also self-evident. If you float over these fields, you see that you have the open option. So if I wanted to open up, let's say the Chapman 114 job, I would just click on open, and that would open this project. And we will talk about the project page on the instructions for this page. And so, and this is probably the most familiar page in here. Anybody that has used Custom Cabinet Planner in any of the previous versions is very familiar with the projects page. Again, that's going to change in version 7. We want you to use procedures for almost everything now. For you as the owner, your team members will be using their dashboard primarily. So projects is only used if you're sitting with a client, working with a client, or that's what you invite the client into. It's considered a client-facing page. And that's it for the projects page.